we will get you situated, okay? So today we're going to talk about the some basics of Zoom, and ooh, don't do that. We are Erin Wolfhope and
Brandy Moody.
and we were voluntold. I mean, we volunteered to help present this information with you guys. So you can reach us there at those email addresses, or we're also on the Twitter. Okay. So today we want to cover how can I navigate a Zoom meeting? How can I get feedback during my Zoom meetings? How can I run an attendance report? And where can I check and edit my settings within Zoom? And please, if you guys have questions, just throw them in there, and we will. I can't say we're going to answer them all at the moment because there's many of you, but we will do our best to check out the transcript and get to them. But if you are in the chat and you know the answers, you can send a private message to, we're going to get to attendance, promise. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do, and it looks like hopefully most of you have done this, is you want to access Zoom through ClassLink. We are rostering Zoom via Clever. It is a paid district account, and linking your account's fairly simple. If you have not done this already, this next slide has the video. We're not going to watch it during this session, but we will share a link to these slides so that you can access this on your own, so that you can link this account, okay? All right, sorry. Oh, don't watch it, Erin. Let's go to the next one. Here we go. All right, Brandy, your turn.
Okay, so they asked us to do 2 different Zoom sessions, one with basic and one with advanced. So this is complete basic. So if you feel like you already got this, then go ahead and check out and come back in for the advanced one. We're going to go pretty basic here. So if you are new to Zoom, then your upcoming meetings, when you log into Zoom, you're going to see this screen right here. It lists your upcoming meetings, your previous meetings, your personal meeting room, and your meeting template. So all of your upcoming meetings would be listed right here. You have to do the screen.
Oh, I got you.
Your previous meetings are going to be located right here, where you could send out that link again and start it, or you could just go in and see what meetings were held to keep a recording for yourself. The next one is the personal meeting room. That is when your link never changes. So for me, with my Zooms and my 3rd graders, I have just sent out my personal meeting room. So therefore, my kids have the same link every time to click on to get to our live sessions. And then for me to start the meeting, I just go to my personal meeting room and then click start meeting, and my kids just start popping in. Get it?
Sorry, I'm chatting. There you go.
They also have at the top of your Zoom, it's the quick link. So if you can schedule a meeting, join a meeting, or host a meeting.
Were you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this feature was turned on last evening during our planning session. So this has been turned on for all teachers, all administrators, and any user that hasn't been put in the appropriate group. So this will allow all of your students or participants to bypass using the Zoom app that would be on a MacBook or a Chromebook or an iPad. I know that we have been having some issues with apps not loading or opening properly. So what will happen is when your students get the link to your meeting, they will get to a screen that says open Zoom, and they may have to cancel a pop-up that says open with the app, but you can see at the bottom here, they'll have an option to click join from your browser. Okay, and so what it will do, it will open it in the default browser on the device, probably Safari on an iPad and probably Chrome on Chromebooks and MacBooks. So what happens is it will open a tab in their browser. It will have limited features, so they may have fewer features than normal, but it should be a less restrictive option for them to join more easily. The session is being recorded, so we can share it. Okie dokie. Sorry about that. What did I press to go there? Chris, you're going to be more specific there. Sorry. Oh my goodness. I'm going forward and I want to go backwards there, Brandy. Hang on a second.
Do you just want me to share my screen?
Oh, that would be
easier.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do Zoom apparently. The previous screen. Chris, see me after class.
I think he's talking about how do you get that link so that they don't have to do the app. If you're going to do that, we're going to show you where it's turned on in your settings.
Oh gosh, there's 3 in the waiting room, isn't it?
Okay. Sorry guys, bear with us. We have had just as busy week as you guys have had, and then now we've got the waiting room and the chat going on and trying to.
The reason Brandy and I can kind of tag team this is we are using the co-host feature. So we both have, and you have the ability to do that as well. But I've made her a co-host, so she gets the same rights that I do.
And I will show you how to do that. Okay, so one of the biggest settings in Zoom, and it is set on from our district, you cannot turn this one on or off, is the waiting room. And it's a great security feature. Participants are placed in the waiting room until host admits them. You've all experienced that. It does get a little chaotic when we have over 100 people and they're all coming in at different times. So the waiting room feature also has a sound that you can play. So there's like a little doorbell just on your screen that will tell you when somebody's sitting in the waiting room. The doorbell feature has been a great one for when I'm teaching live and a kid comes in late. I'm not constantly having to look at the waiting room because the bell will click and I'll know I have to go let somebody in. The host co-host is in your settings. You have to turn that on before you have your Zoom meeting. When you turn that on, it will say co-host here. You just toggle on over. And then once you're in the meeting, you click on participants, and then you click on the more, and then make co-host.
Right.
And then that way,
go ahead.
Oh, that way you can see the other person has all the rights you have. I'm echoing in my own ear.
Yeah, sorry, we're in the same room. Let's pause right here just for a second. So the personal meeting room ID is under your profile. Okay, so you can find that under your profile. And in your settings, hold on a sec. Hey, we're in a Zoom call. Can you call back in like an hour?
This is the daycare. Miss Ann wanted me to call because one of the students had a question.
Okay, we will be available at 10:30. Okay. Thanks. Okay, so in the in-meeting basic settings, this is where you're going to turn the co-host option on or off. Okay, so every individual user can set that setting to allow a co-host. If the co-host is on, it doesn't mean you have to use one, it just means you have the ability to do that. All right. No, are there any questions up to now? You can throw them in the chat box. Don't want to go like, we're trying to do basic. I don't want to be like too overwhelming here. All right, they're all still drinking their coffee. Okay, we're going to proceed, but please throw them in the chat box if you have questions.
Okay. So when you go into your settings, you have some options on the left-hand side. You have the schedule meeting, in meeting basic, in meeting advanced. So what we tried to do is take a screenshot. The blue is what heading it's under. So like if you want to mute your participants upon entry, you would go to settings and then you would go to schedule meeting and you would find the mute participants upon entry. And then you just make sure it's blue so that it's toggled on.
I'm texting everybody in the waiting room, not everybody in this room.
In meeting basic heading, you can have the screen sharing on to where only your hosts can screen share, or all participants. For my third graders, I just have it set to host only. That way they're not sharing their screen at the inappropriate time or with inappropriate things. Meeting reactions, this is pretty cool. So if you look at your participants down at the bottom, you have some icons that you can do to respond to things. So if you click on more, it's a gray dot with 3 dots in it. You can give a thumbs up, you can give a thumbs down, or you can clap. You guys as participants may have different feedback than I can show you on my screen. We will be talking about breakout rooms in the more advanced Zoom. Breakout rooms are super amazing because you can take your Zoom and you can break them out into different rooms so that they can work collaboratively together. So if you want to know more about breakout rooms, come join us for the advanced session. Another great thing if you're using the personal meeting room is the email notifications. So with this being our first week, I've gotten a lot of kids get on my personal link at the wrong times. So instead of them just sitting there waiting for me, I'll get an email notification that I can jump on and say, hey, little Johnny, it's only you need to come back at 2. That way they are not just sitting there thinking I forgot about them. So that email notification has really helped with the personal meeting link. This was a thing, we had this issue at Hildebrand yesterday where some of our teachers could mute participants upon entry and then they couldn't unmute themselves. So when you're a host, you go to this more button right here, and then you have to make sure these things are checked so that your kids can unmute themselves or that you can mute them also.
So this is under participants. So in your call, you click participants and then more, and I have you guys locked so that you cannot unmute yourselves. So handy feature if you're having some friends that don't like to or like to be heard constantly. So remember that one.
Okay. So there's 3 different ways to view your Zoom participants. You can pin a video, and as a participant, you can pin the video to keep it front and center. So if I wanted just Erin's face every time throughout my whole Zoom, I would go to her picture, hit the 3 dots, and then do pinned video.
No one would want that.
When Erin and I presented to the NC Learn thing this summer, that was perfect for me because we had 500 participants and I was able just to focus on her and not have all these eyes staring at me, which was nice. The next view you have is the speaker view. So you'll see all the participants, but the speaker's view would be bigger. So that means whoever is talking is going to be your focal point on your Zoom session. And then that's a great picture. Then the gallery view is when you can see all the Zoom participants at the same time. All of these options are located in the top right-hand corner of your Zoom screen. And you can pick gallery or speaker view. And then the pin view is going to be on the 3 dots of that person's picture. when you are asking your kids questions and they are muted, they can go to the participant box and give you nonverbal feedback. This is also where they can turn the audio or camera on or off, the participant's name, and then the nonverbal feedback.
Can we get everybody to give us a green
I think
check?
that's the next slide.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're ahead of me here. So if you look at the bottom, you can click the raise hand icon like you have a question, the yes, the no, hey lady, slow down, hey lady, go faster. And then you have the thumbs up, thumbs down, and the wave. So we're actually gonna try the nonverbal feedback right now. So if you will click on your participants down at the bottom or top, wherever you have your bar, I would like you to use the green check or the red X to react to the following statement. So I have more gray hair since remote learning started. So you're just gonna check the yes or the no. And if Randy Shane's in here, he's gonna say he's bald, no hair at all.
Everybody looks good in gray, just saying.
Yeah. So as the host, I can pull up the participants and I can see who's checking yes and who's checking no.
Can you give them directions about how to get to that green check again?
Oh, sure. So if you go onto your bar down at the bottom where it says mute, stop video, security, and then there is a participant. If you click on the participant, your box will come up, and on the bottom you have the green check and the red X, and you just push it in your little participant.
Amber, Jordan, can all participants see this or just the host? We can see everyone's responses.
I can see everybody's response right now, and that's the one thing I like. When we share our screen with Zoom, you don't see our Zoom bars, which I wish you did because that would make it so much easier. But right in front of me, and I'm going to screenshot this and I can add it to the slide. Right in front of me, I have all participants up, and I can see your green check and your red X's for each and every person in the meeting. And then when I was done with this, if I wanted to use the nonverbal again, I have a clear all section that I would click clear all, and that's going to clear all the checks and the X's away so that if we use this again, I don't have to look and see which question was which. It's all started new. The nonverbal feedback is pretty cool for when we have kids who just don't want to talk, like they can use their nonverbal feedback. Sharing screen is what we're doing right now. So next to your participant, you have a share screen option. When you click on the share screen, you can share the desktop, you can share your whiteboard, you can share just your Google Chrome, you can share your messages if you want to, and then you can also use your iPhone, iPad as a different source to show things on your screen. So here is the big thing that everybody has been wanting to do, and it's taking attendance from your Zoom. It's pretty simple. So on your left-hand side of your Zoom screen, you have reports. You're going to click on reports. It's going to bring you to usage or meetings. You're going to click on the usage report. You're going to search what meeting you want. So yesterday when we were setting up the presentation, I just did the 17th and 18th and I searched, and this is what came up, the 3 personal links that I had. When you go into a specific meeting, it lists all the users. Now you can see that Parker got kicked out one time and then she was in for 37 minutes. Well, this is a little hard to read because the students are named multiple times. So if you see the show unique users right here, you click on the show unique users. Hold on, sorry. Click is going to give you who attended your Zoom meetings. So it's a pretty easy way to do attendance. It's real quick. You can also export this out to Google Sheets, and then you will have a list of each date and which kid attended and how long they were in the meeting. So I can see that Aubrey came in late, that she was not there for the whole meeting. So it's totally awesome for classroom teachers that are having to do attendance. Instead of having to write down all the Zoom people, we have it right there in the Zoom report. Ask your questions. This is the basic one. Like I said, it's hard to know exactly what everybody knows or what everybody needs. So we do have a more advanced one at 9:30, but we wanted to leave ample time for questions that we could go into the Zoom and show you, or whatever you needed us to do. So Aaron's gonna man.
Can I share my screen and show them how to get to that report section? Okay, so I'm going to
Yep.
try to do that real quick. I'm going to
Let me
share my
start sharing.
desktop maybe, and let's see if I can get to my Zoom settings. You tell me if you can see. Let's just go. I super love this bar at the top, preventing everything. Okay, I'm going to go to Zoom. You guys see me logging into Clever?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so, oh, I probably shouldn't share, but my settings look a little bit different, okay? So for your purposes as a teacher, you are gonna have a button right here, Brandy, that says reports right under settings. So right here where my mouse is, you're gonna have a reports button. My button is somewhere else, under account management. Mine's here, okay? So when you click reports, you're going to have an option here. My view is not the best to look at. So
You want to look at mine?
yeah, Brandy's going to share because I have an admin view. 1 second. Robin, from what Brandy said, from my understanding, you can choose a date to search your report to find the meeting that you want to get data on. So she's going to walk us through that right now. We can exit. Yeah, there you go. Exit the presentation. We know that was really quick, but we want to be here for all the individual questions. So there you go. There's your reports right there.
So just on your left hand, this is where you're going to get your settings. This is where you can do your recording settings, and then you're going to report. So when we want to do attendance, we're going to the usage. And then you can do your date. So I'm just going to do yesterday. And I'm going to search that. Okay. And then I'm going to go to usage. Nope, just kidding. Okay. So I'm going to search just today. And then I'm going to pick one of these meetings. So you see where your participants is blue. That's what you want to click on to get to that meeting. So I'm going to go to the one with 11. And then this is where every time they log in or log out, it shows. So you're going to go to the show unique users. And then that is going to put it down to just one time and show you who they are and how many minutes they were in there. And then you can export, and it will send it right down. And then it exports it in there for you. Okay. Well, it doesn't put the date, but you could easily just put the date up there. Does that help?
So that's under, when you log into Zoom, you're going to your settings and then reports to get to your report. So if I would recommend once we get the recording finished up and uploaded, that you guys need to get that and rewatch. So hit me with some more questions. I see, Pam, you're having some issues with the recording. I got you. I have that ticket in my inbox. Is it possible to have students working, for example, math manipulatives, and still have Zoom at the same time? So if you're using an iPad, what happens is the call kind of stays in the background, And so you could have your students use their other app. And then once they finish, they can rejoin or tap at the icon at the top to rejoin the phone call or the Zoom call. Hope that answers your question. If you did not register on Timekeeper, we will be using that handy feature that Brandy just shared with you to run a report, and we will be sharing that with individuals that issue credit. I do not know that chat can be paused. I don't think that's a thing.
Yeah. Sean Hodges has a question that she turned on her settings for whiteboard and annotate, but my students are still not able to write on the board. So this is what we learned over the summer when we were doing all of our Zoom presentations is if your kids are using a Chromebook, they cannot annotate. And if they are using an iPhone or an iPad, that was where they could not annotate. So they have different settings than what on a MacBook would have. So in our advanced meeting, we are going over how to annotate and how to use the whiteboard, but unfortunately our kids cannot do that if they have a Chromebook.
Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
a bummer.
we had an answer. They probably won't be able to annotate if they're joining into the browser also, that it's limited features. You're welcome.
You can the pause and unpause the chat box during a meeting. If you go into your settings, you can turn off the chat box, or you can have it automatically save the chat box. So you can save all the comments and questions that are going on at the end of your Zoom session.
Pam, if you're using Chromebooks, I would just recommend that the students make an additional tab to play with their manipulatives, and then their call would still be active. Laura, if you figure that out, sharing screens I think is challenging because you can't see what you want on your screen and your kids are everywhere. So that's a tricky thing to navigate. You could minimize your window and crop it so that it's half of your screen, maybe. That's something you may have to play with a little bit. Get one of your grade level partners to join a Zoom call. That's how Brady and I have played a lot. Amber, can students access Google Classroom during a Zoom? If you are on an iPad, they'll just hit the home button and go to the app that they need to access, and the call will remain running in the background. If they're on any other device, they would just make a new tab to join Google Classroom. Can you just type in the time there, Brandy?
That's when Drew asked a question about that, and I'm trying to, I think you can, because I had 9:15 yesterday. Yeah, so Drew, you just type it in and then hit your enter button. Don't try to click on anything else until you hit the enter button, and it will automatically change it. There you go.
Boom.
The Kahoot question and the Zoom question, did we answer that? It's kind of hard because the kids have to have two different tabs open. So they can't see your screen when they're in the Kahoot screen. So
yeah, you can assign Kahoots as homework, which might be easier.
Yeah, so it is hard. They can have another device like Sean said, or you have to open up another tab. Quizzes is a little bit easier because they can open up another tab, but they can see the question on their quizzes.
Yeah, I guess it depends on the age of your student and their ability to juggle lots of things.
And what they have,
That's true. There you go. Kelly says on an iPad they can split screen. Thanks, Kelly. Quizlet Live, give it a shot.
That's what Dina just said. She did it yesterday and didn't have any problems. So
excellent. That's excellent.
We're gonna have to try that. And I do think she's 7th grade, so I do think it has to do with the age of your kids too.
Yeah.
And their technology savvy.
Yeah, every student in every class is going to have a different ability level. So on iPads, depending on their age, can you like swipe in and they can have 2 apps going at once?
Yeah.
Um,
Kelly, that would be a question that you could answer if you can. How do you split your screen on the iPad? My kids have Chromebooks, so I'm
yeah,
not quite sure.
we don't use iPads, sorry. Hold on, let's let Kelly talk. Hold on, Kelly. I'm gonna find you and unmute you. You are gonna join the show. Kelly Weathers, ask you to unmute.
On the iPad, you have to have your Zoom open, and then they go to the home key and they pull up their ClassLink. And once ClassLink is open, then they can log in, and then they find the app that they bring their ClassLink over to the side, and they hold it up to the side of their screen, and then it splits their screen, and then you can adjust the screen. And then after you've adjusted the screen, they'll click on their ClassLink and pull up whatever app you want them to do. And then they have a dual screen, and you can play Kahoot and they can still see the questions on your screen, and they can play Kahoot on theirs.
Perfect.
Thank you, Kelly.
Drew wants to know if you can just do the audio version of the meeting of Zoom.
I'm gonna minimize and see if I have any Zoom calls saved here. It does make different files, I think. Let's see. So it looks like there is an audio only option, Drew. So after you've recorded your message, your call, you're gonna get a conversion pop up, and you need to let it convert. And then in your downloads folder, you're gonna have a folder called Zoom, and in that folder will be the files, and there will be an audio version of your call. Give it a shot. I love that idea, Drew.
Yeah, Drew, I'm really happy you brought that up because I've been struggling with the same thing, like recording the Zooms and not having the privacy thing. So I love that you brought that up because I'm going to try that. Yeah, that's true. When you share your screen, they're not going to be able to see it in the audio. We tried to do a Zoom yesterday and record it without the kids' pictures showing. And that was really hard for me when I was teaching because I couldn't see their facial expressions. I couldn't see if they were looking at me or if they were petting the dog. So yeah, we're still struggling with the recording thing and trying to work that out.
The best view to record for privacy, I don't know that there is one. I mean, it's a tough line to draw. I think personally, if I was recording, I might throw the video in iMovie and crop it so that it was only me showing. And so for that purpose, you wouldn't want to use gallery view. You'd want to pin your own video and because if you use speaker view, then anyone who's talking, I mean, if you use speaker view, Brandy, but muted everybody, but that kind of defeats the purpose of having a group discussion.
Yeah, because then you're not getting their feedback. And then if you're pinning the video while you record, you're not seeing your students' reactions and what they're doing. So
we don't have a solid answer.
We're still working on that.
I do know that Vanessa Wren with DPI had shared some legalese about recording students and that it's okay, like it's allowed. It just wears on you personally, like, is this what I need to be doing? So I would do I'd pin myself, and if you need to record, or if recording your Zooms is not required, I might record a 20-minute lesson and share that with the kids who can't be there.
Brittany said you can use QuickTime and record only your camera. So are you getting the shared screen when you record that way? Like I've used QuickTime before and I know it takes forever to upload and everything to Google Drive and stuff, but
can be taxing on your device.
Yeah, when you're using QuickTime, can you do the shared screen too? And just your video? I haven't tried that. Okay. Does Zoom detect the student who's commenting? If it's in speaker view, whoever's audio is going is who is view is bigger. Is that what you mean? Okay, perfect.
We're gonna say that we definitely are not the Zoom experts, but we for sure encourage you to collaborate with your teammates, and when you guys figure something out, share it with the people that you're working with. Like last night when I found the feature that we can allow users to join via web browser, I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So there are a ton of settings that are available for you guys as individual users to tweak and turn on. There are a handful that we are setting and locked at the administrative level, but lots of things you guys can edit to make work. C. Baker, I would pin her video, right, Brandy?
Yeah.
If you have a facilitator that needs to be seen, pin that person's video by clicking the 3 dots on her image or her screen, her video.
The child that needs the facilitator needs to pin it on their computer, so that's all they see. So what they would do is they would go to the facilitator's picture, hit those 3 dots and pin it, and then that's all that child would see is your language facilitator. Yeah, the kid has to pin it. Yep.
Brandy knows all the things.
No, I like last night when we were putting this together, we just sent out a Facebook post and said, hey, we need help with Zoom because I needed screenshots that I needed to do in the Zoom, and I needed more than just me and Aaron. And I mean, people jumped on left and right, and that's how we did it. I mean, we just play with it just to see.
Okay, I know that someone had asked about polling earlier. I don't think it's turned on for everybody. I know that we have paid, but I don't think our license is live yet, but it's happening at the end of the month, I do believe. So I'm gonna add one real quick.
Somebody asked where the doorbell was. I'm trying to find it for you.
It's under participants and then more, and then you have the option to play a sound when people.
Okay, but it's also in your settings, so you can do it for everyone.
So if you are cruising through settings, you can also use Command F and bring up a search bar. And so then you can type in the feature you're looking for. So when you type in door, oh no,
that's not it.
Type in sound maybe.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
So in meeting basics, sound notification when someone joins or leaves. You want host and co-host only, because if everyone hears it, you're going to drive everybody crazy. So just host and co-host only, and then those people will see your door, hear the chime.
I'm going to launch this poll. No options for bad answers. Nobody's feeling amazing. So you can set these poll questions, and I will confirm with Dr. Honeycutt about this feature. But There you go. Most of us are feeling fine.
Let's see. A Sigmund, how do you unpin a video? So let me go and
I
walk you through
think
that.
she said, never mind, I see the button.
Oh, got it. Okay, just kidding. How did you do that? Do you mean the polling thing?
It's under polling, and I'm going to confirm that we're going to get it soon.
Yeah. As a teacher account, we don't have it yet, but hopefully in the near future we will.
When we have pinned a video, can the students see the pinned video and the speaker?
No, just the pinned video. I'm gonna double check. I'm pretty sure it's just the pinned video, but let me pin Aaron and see. Yeah, so once I pin Aaron, everybody else goes away.
Can you pin more than one?
I'm looking.
Your best bet is to invite us later to a call, and we can play with it.
Okay, so I just pinned Kelly Weathers, and then I pinned Aaron, but when I pinned Kelly, it unpinned Aaron. So the answer would be no. Only one pin.
No problem. All right, y'all. If you still have questions, stick around. If you do not, go get a cup of coffee and use the bathroom and make it super early to your next session. We'll give you the hour credit. We will post this video by this afternoon, I hope. But please, you can reach out via email to either of us for support. And we know y'all are rocking it. It's gonna be great. Y'all can come to the next session if you want. And Nikki, I think it's under nonverbal feedback. I think you need to go in settings. Can you do that, Brandy? Go to settings,
yeah,
or just Command V and nonverbal?
Yep.
The YouTube channel there, Miss St. Louis. You just poke your husband and ask him. We're gonna look for this nonverbal real quick. Lori, we're gonna send an attendance report. I'm not really sure, but that's the plan. Are you using the attendance feature to do attendance? We are doing reports.
Yes.
We apologize, it was fast. We're a little rusty. Please relax and slow us down. We're quite tired. We are doing advanced Zoom. Oh, I don't know about that, Sean. Maybe they tell me things when I need to be there. We'll share the recording, Sean, but if you have questions, we'll be happy to answer. Can you do a report for attendance for one day instead of each session? I think it's each session, but maybe?
Each session. Each session. So when you pick the date, every session you had that date is gonna pop up, and you're gonna have to click on each session. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. You are so welcome, Sean. Did you find nonverbal?
Oh, I forgot I was doing that.
we have some ADD. How do you do recurring meetings?
There it is. It's in meeting basics, and then nonverbal feedback. You have to toggle that on.
Turn that on, Nikki.
And then also for meeting reactions, you need to turn that on too.
You want to schedule a meeting there, and we'll show David how to do recurring?
Sure. I have some kids that say they're in the waiting room waiting to be admitted, but I have not seen any waiting participants.
It's possible they're the wrong link.
Yeah.
Because I did get a message I got a message today from an assistant principal that she was waiting, and same recurring. Oh, dang, Heather. Blew that out of the water. Send me an email with that link. We'll play with it, okay? That's good to hear, Matilda.
And I think the waiting room, that's controlled by the county. So we don't have any,
I mean,
like there's nothing in settings for us to turn on.
it sounds like maybe they're not clicking your link. Is that possible that they have a link to other folks? You're welcome, Amber. Yeah, let's see what that says.
So it should be everybody goes to the waiting room.
You can't do anything about that, right? Because we have that set. Okay.
Yep.
One said that she's getting into other two just fine. Heather Ramsey, if your accounts are linked through ClassLink already, then you could go to Zoom however you want. Okay, so if you know that you've linked your ClassLink and Zoom with Clever, you can access Zoom however you want. Does that answer your question? You just need to go to link them up first so that they're all together.
So I guess the question, Heather, is did you link to ClassLink?
If you've done that, you can do whatever you want to get to Zoom.
And Aaron has that video on one of the slides.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, go right there. If you guys need these slides, we gave you view access to these.
There's
so
a bit.ly.
And you can share them with your friends who did not come to this session, please, and make a copy, whatever. Nikki, did you get fixed up? She still has her hand up. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can ask her to unmute. How do you check to make sure you're linked in ClassLink? I can do that for you. Let's see, users. Nikki, you are linked.
Heather Ramsey. Heather Ramsey.
Thank you. Let's see. Heather Ramsey. If you're Heather Ramsey at Burke.K12, I have you in here.
Okay, so Pamela says, what do I do about the issue with recordings not converting?
Yeah, I got it in a ticket. I can't fix it.
Okay, so she's handling that, yeah. And then how do we know who cannot be part of the shared recording? So our media coordinator at Hildebrand has all of those names who opted out for the privacy thing. So just get up with your media coordinator and she should have a list of who cannot do that.
Davi, I go through ClassLink just to keep myself in the habit of going to ClassLink to access all the things. So that's how I would do it. No problem, Pam. I swear I've talked to Caleb. It's a thing we're working on.
Can you put a bookmark for the?
Sorry.
Can you put a bookmark for the meeting camera somewhere so when I have lots of apps open, you can find your meeting? Mine is down at the dock. When I do my Zoom meeting, like if I was to click out of it by accident, it's down on my dock. Is there another way to do that, Aaron?
Are you on an iPad?
Oh yeah, Cheryl.
I'm not sure about that one. I mean, recent apps would show up in the dock on an iPad. You put a bookmark for the meeting camera. I don't know the answer to that. I'd have to maybe get on a call with you, Cheryl, to troubleshoot that.
Sometimes my kids say they see start a new Zoom meeting on the MacBook.
I would probably recommend that they do not open the Zoom app and they join via the browser link that has just been enabled.
They're on a Chrome. So
Hey, Cheryl, I think we need to have a one-on-one after this. Can you shoot me an email, ewolfhope@Burke, and we can hop on a call together. That sounds great.
okay, friends, we hate to say goodbye, but we have to get ready for our 9:31. So thanks all for joining. We hope you gained something.